Welcome back to Dr. Walls and Friends here on the beautiful island of St. Lucia at the Coco Palm, and we are joined right now with Vincent McDoom. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
Oh, it's so wonderful to have you.
It's nice to be back home. You know, I'm staying at the hotel actually, Coco Palm.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'm a very good friend of the director, and every time I come home to St. Lucia, I stay at the Coco Palm, and it's a home away from home because I live in Paris.
All right, my mother loves Paris.
She should come and visit.
Yes, and she loves it in the springtime.
Yeah,
so
it's the best time to be in Paris.
That's what
actually.
they always say.
It's true.
Yes. So now tell us, what brings you home this year?
What brought me home this year? I left St. Lucia 25 years ago to follow my dreams as a fashion designer.
Right.
And I entered the house of Paco Rabanne and Yves Saint Laurent, which I worked with them. I went to school at one of the biggest schools in the world called S-Mod, and upon completion of my studies, I stayed on in Paris, and I worked alongside designers like Marc Jacobs, who's also, you know, the creative director at Louis Vuitton.
Yes.
So one thing led to another, and then I left, you know, my job as an assistant to Marc Jacobs, and I started my own TV show presenting fashion.
Wonderful.
And I am now a TV presenter and an actor in Paris. I have a new film coming out. I just finished a new film called Kickback, and that's supposed to be coming out in October, and I have the lead role. You
Congratulations.
know. Upon completion of the film, I got a call from the St. Lucian government, and they had rebranded the Jazz Festival, which was a festival for music only. So they rebranded it to offer the opportunities to other talents on the island, because you know, in the island of St. Lucia, that anybody doing hairdressing, makeup, fashion, you know, it's considered a hobby and it's not considered a business. You know, and what they decided to do was to rebrand the Jazz Festival and call it the Jazz and Art Festival, and they were now giving a platform to local talents, you know, to show their work, to highlight their work. So they called me in because if you're selling a product, you sell it with a name brand, and I was the name brand. So they brought me in, you know, as the creative director to this project, which is called St. Lucia's Haute Couture. We cannot use haute because haute is a French appellation, so it was called Haute Couture. Okay. You know, which was quite interesting. Hot. In St. Lucia is hot, everybody's hot. So what I had to do was I had to scout the talent. I scouted 10 young designers on the island. One of them being Luciana Maxwell. She's going on to Project Runway next year. And another talent is Lynn Bristol. We have also Membet. She does accessories. We have Perry Bags. We have J-Lo. We have a guy called Shazzy, you know, and we have another woman called Delia.
Oh, we know Shazzy.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Oh, good.
He wears a lot of Shazzy.
Oh, great. Well, we had all of these people come together, and what I did was that I organized a fashion show with them alongside guest designers we call in from Trinidad. And one of the guest designers from Trinidad was Claudia Pegas. Another guest designer from Trinidad was Heather Jones. We brought in these people, you know, to empower the young people in St. Lucia.
Wonderful.
And we had, in getting the designers, then we had to scout models, and we had to use only local models. So I had to scout on the whole of the island 42 models, 12 boys and 30 girls, and I had to train them for 6 weeks and prepare them for the show, which was aired on Tuesday, and it was very, very successful.
Wonderful. And it was done at the Audi building,
and it was done at the Audi building. And what gave me the idea for the Audi building is because in all of the major fashion capitals in the world, in Paris, in Milan, in Tokyo, in Johannesburg now, you have the, you know, the Mercedes-Benz fashion show, which allows or enables young designers to showcase their work. So I was presented with I went to see the Audi building, and I felt it was very conducive for a fashion show. I love the idea of, you know, using Audi as a sponsor. So what we did was that after speaking to the St. Lucian government, what we did is that we decided to use the Audi building, and we showcased, you know, the designers' clothes before 300 people, with dignitaries, with buyers, with you know, friends and family, and also, you know, celebrities, local celebrities, and we did on the foreign press as well, and the local press. So we showcased that, and it was a huge success, and I'm very happy to have been part, or to have been the one to offer that possibility to young talent in St. Lucia, both models and designers alike. You know?
And you know what I love? I was talking off camera with Belika Lawrence, and she was talking about how many times, and you mentioned it as well, hobbies, that arts are considered more of a hobby as opposed to a career, and so many times it's someone's passion.
Which is sad, because, you know, it's total disrespect, you know, for the person's, you know, talent. And what I've been seeing in St. Lucia is that disrespect, and I was able to go on and get the necessary expertise, you know, even if, you know, the work that I've been doing have been flawed with a lot of negativity coming from certain people who wants to sabotage the work that I'm doing with these young designers, and certain people well placed because they feel, you know, that I am too verbal or I am too, you know, outgoing, you know. And what happened was I did not let that stop me, because I could not let, I had that opportunity to go out there and get that expertise and get, you know, that professionalism that we needed. And what we need to do is, on the island of St. Lucia we have 30 model agencies, and these 30 model agencies, they do not know what it is like, you know, to run agencies, and a lot of the models are exploited. You know, they are not paid for their work, or they do it graciously, and it's not normal. It's a job, people get paid for it. So what I would like, you know, to happen is that standards be put in place, you know, and the fashion chain is respected, and everybody's job is redefined in this. And that was one of the reasons why I came down to lend a hand. So what I did was that I gave up a job for about 60,000 euros, 60,000 euros. I gave my name, my image, and also I gave up 6 weeks of my time to come down and give all of that to my government and to my people, you know, because I've been so blessed, you know. So that was what I was going to do, and that's what I intend to do. So I hope next year, with everything that has happened, you know, what we can do is we can have a better show, because this year it was so good. We can have a bigger show, we can have a better show, and that way we can create jobs, because it's a multi-million-dollar making business. And when you do a fashion show, a hairdresser gets a job, a makeup artist get a job, a lighting technician get a job, a cameraman get a job, photographers get jobs, the press gets jobs, you know. So all of that, it just brings it all up, and it enables, you know, the culture in St. Lucia to continue overseas through, you know, the tourism minister or the tourism ministry. It encourages that, and that markets St. Lucia. St. Lucia is not only about, you know, the sights and sceneries, it's also about its people, it's also about its talent, you know. And it's high time we realize that St. Lucia is not the world. St. Lucia has to meet up, you know, with, you know, the outside world, because with the social network we are now, you know, connecting, and in connecting, you know, people are thirsty for information. People need to know what's going on out there. So I was lucky to have left the island 25 years ago. So now I was bringing back to the island what I had acquired, you know, living in Paris and being at front row seats at all of the major fashion shows, at Vuitton, at Dior, at Saint Laurent, at Givenchy. You know, it was very important to do this. And also what it was important to do was to help these kids and these designers to build their self-esteem and their confidence in themselves. And you know, that was really, really important for me, you know. So what can be quite interesting is, if you guys want footage of, you know, that show, you know, what you can do is on YouTube, you just type in, you know, St. Lucia Haute Couture, and you know, you'd see videos of it, and you can take the videos from off there, and you can see the work of these young models, these young talents, and you'd be very, very happy. And the international models, you know, the St. Lucian models that we are using, they have nothing to be jealous about, you know. What is quite interesting, and what I've said many times, with the advent of Barack Obama being the Prime Minister of the world, or the President of the world, and his wife becoming a fashion icon, you know, and also with all of the designers in the major fashion capitals using Africa as, you know, an inspiration. What is rather interesting is, you know, black girls get an opportunity to be on the runway, because before they didn't get that opportunity. So with the advent of Barack Obama and the African themes, and Mrs. Obama being such, you know, a fashion icon, you know, now we can have, you know, a St. Lucian model who goes on to become a top model. This is very important, because we do have it in African countries. We've seen it in Jamaica with Nadine, you know, Wallace. We have seen it with you know, Munia, who is a model in Martinique, you know. So I felt that it was the time, the calling was right. So when the St. Lucian government and the tourism ministry called me on to do this job, I was very happy to do it.
Wonderful. So now tell the people, if they want to follow you, find out, and get ready for this movie, what's the best way for them to see what you are up to?
Oh my God, you know, if you type in Vincent McDoom, VINCENT, MCDOOM. You can Google everything on me.
Perfect.
But I am also on Twitter, VMCD Officiel, OFFICIEL.
Okay.
Or I am on Facebook. You know, there's a lot of Facebook pages that are not me, but you can tell which one is the right one. You know, but also, you know, anybody wanting to get in touch with me, you just send me an email on vincentmcdoom@hotmail.com. Everything is stuck together.
Thank you, so much for taking this time with us, and thank you for coming back and doing what you did.
Well, for me it was a calling, you know, and I felt it was time to share, because knowledge, or when you're a celebrity and you have something, if it's not shared, nothing comes back.
That's right.
So that's what I came to do it for.
You heard it first. If it's not shared, nothing comes back. So share your gifts and your talents. We'll be back shortly on Dr. Walls and Friends.